Yeah, sure, Prabhu. I'm going to do that.
Okay. Next.
Okay, Prabhu. Can I go ahead and start?
Yes.
You want to recite? Yeah?
Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Dharam Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayadudire Srinavata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridantastu Patrani Vidnuti Sutsatam Nashtaprayashu Padreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shlokir Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Agyanta Mirandasya Jananja Shalakaya Chakshuranmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Pashtatai Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Bhaktan Ki Jai. So I see Vidagdha Mada Prabhu, Vijay Lakshmi Mataji, Krishna Maya Prabhu from Mumbai. Thank you, Prabhu, for joining us from so far away. Appreciate your presence. So since we are in our time constraint, we have to leave home around 8:45 minutes or so. I will proceed, and devotees may join later. So I will look at the mother Prabhu. Let me know if I'm screen sharing adequately, okay?
Sure, Prabhu.
Can you see?
Yes, Prabhu, we can see.
Okay, so we're on this, sorry, I'm moving the Zoom bar. We're in this chapter 14, the disappearance of Lord Krishna. And so Maharaj Yudhishthira is in Hastinapur and he sees omens of something not so favorable happening. So we're now in verse 22 in chapter 14. And a lot of these verses don't have purport. So my thought was to go from 14 to 29 because 28 and 29 have a purport. Okay, so iti chinta yatastasya drashta rashtina chetasa vajna prataya gamad Brahman yadu purya kapi dvaja iti chinta yatastasya drashta Drashtarishtena chetasa rajana prati agamat brahmam yadu purya kapit vicha iti chintaya satasya drashtarishtena chetasa rajana prati agamat brahmam yadu purya. Because we want to spend time on this section and give it due justice. So Maharaj Yudhishthira is saying, "Oh Brahmana," so a conversation with conversations occurring. So Sutta Goswami is relating to Shanaka Goswami at Namasharanya that while Maharaj Yudhishthira observed the inauspicious signs on the earth at that time, was just thinking to himself, Arjun came back from the city of Yadus. So Maharaj Yudhishthira is observing some inauspicious signs that were discussed in prior sessions. And at the same time, Shri Arjun just came back from Dwarka. So, like I said, there's not much in the way, there's no purport here. So I will just go on to the next several verses, which don't have purport, and then stop at 28, 29. So then he says, when he bowed at his feet, meaning Arjun, the king, Maharaja Yudhishthira, saw that his dejection was unprecedented. His head was down, and tears glided from his lotus eyes, meaning Arjun's eyes. Seeing Arjun pale due to heartfelt anxieties, a king, remembering the indications of sage Narad, questioned him in the midst of friends. So Naraji, in the previous chapter about the departure of Dhritarashtra, gives hints that Sri Krishna Bhagavan is about he has finished his tasks that the Devi Devtas had requested at the shore of Shwetadeep, as we read in our Bhagavatam group. So Maharaj Yudhishthira put questions to Sri Arjun in the royal court. So Maharaj Yudhishthira said, "My dear brother, please tell me, with our friends and relatives such as Madhu, Bhoja, Dasaraha, Araha, Satata, Andhaka, and the members of the Yadu family, are they all passing their days in happiness? Is my respectful grandfather," because remember, when Kunti and what Krishna are related through Surashena, is my respectful grandfather Surashena in a happy mood? And are my maternal uncle Vasudev and his younger brothers all doing well? His 7 families meaning Vasudev, his 7 families headed by Devaki are all sisters. Are they and their sons and daughters-in-law all happy? So here we go. 28, 29. Kachit Raja Huko Jivati Asad Putro Asyat Januja Hridaki Sashtu Karpo Akuro Jayanti Gada Sharana Aste Koshalam Kachit Echa Satrujit Abdaya Kachit Asti Sukam Ramo Bhagwan Satvam Prabhu. Our Ugrasena, whose son was the mischievous Kamsa and his younger brother still living, are Hirdika and his son Kriti Varma happy, our Kura, Jayanta, Gada, Srana, Satrujit all happy. How's Shri Balaramji, the personal Godhead, he calls him Bhagwan, and the protector of devotees, Satatam, he. In here, Satvatam Prabhu, purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Hastinapur, the capital of the Pandavas, was situated somewhere near the present New Delhi, and the kingdom of Ugrasena was situated in Mathura. While returning to Delhi from Dwarka, Arjun must have visited the city of Mathura, right? Because these other personalities are not necessarily going to be in Dwarka. And therefore inquire about the king of Mathura is valid. Amongst various names of the relatives, the name of Rama or Balaram, who is the eldest brother of Sri Krishna, is added with the words the personality Godhead, Bhagwan. Because Lord Balaram is the immediate expansion of Vishnu Tattva as Prakash Vigraha, or Lord Sri Krishna. Supreme Lord, although one without a second, expands himself as many living beings. The Vishnu Tattva living beings are expansions of Supreme Lord, and all of them are qualitatively and quantitatively equal with the Lord. But expansions of the Jiva Shakta, the category of the ordinary living beings, are not at all equal with the Lord. One who considers the Jiva Shakti and the Vishnu Tattva to be on the equal level is considered a condemned soul of the world. Shri Ram or Balaramji is the protector of the devotees of the Lord. Shri Baladeva acts as spiritual master of all devotees, and by his causeless mercy, the fallen souls are delivered. Shri Baladeva appeared as Shri Nityananda Prabhu during the advent of Lord Shri Chaitanya, and the great Lord Nityananda Prabhu exhibited his causeless mercy by delivering a pair of extremely fallen souls, namely Jagai and Madhai. Therefore, it's particularly mentioned herein that Balaramji is the protector of the devotees of the Lord. By his divine grace, only one can approach the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and thus Shri Balaram is the mercy incarnation of the Lord manifested as a spiritual master, the savior of the pure devotees. So we just read 22 through 29. I'll just scroll it up here for your so you can see. Hare Krishna Bhalanita Prabhu, thank you very much for joining. Presence is much appreciated. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Shri Shunyavati Pashtatai Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Bhalita Prabhu, we're just continuing on after you left off last week, but I went from 22 to 29, since 28, 29 are the ones with purport, and they're all kind of linked. So, so I wanted to kind of speak about, what's going on here, right? Something very interesting is happening here. What is happening here? So all these signs are manifestation of something that's occurring in Mahajudasha's heart. And he's aware from the hints of Naraji in the prior conversation with Dhritarashtra's home that there's the imminent departure of Shri Krishna. He's not a foolish person. He's a king and empowered by Lord Krishna. So he's feeling pain upon the departure of Shri Krishna. And it is a natural response to the deep personal connection he has with Bhagwan. And it reflects the intense love and devotion that they held for each other. Mahaju's sister is, of course, as Dharmaraj has the understanding that Bhagwan Shri Krishna is eternal. And his departure is a kind of a theory about the end of his so-called earthly manifestation. But the pain he's experiencing, which he's unable to voice, is a sign of great devotion and a yearning, intense desire for closer connection with Bhagwan. So I wanted to explore this idea, move beyond the surface characteristics to the heart. So this mood, I believe, is captured here in the Shikshastakam, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha parishayatam shunyatam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. My Lord Govinda, because of separation for you, I consider even a moment a great millennium. Tears flow from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I see the entire world as void. So this mood is called virahena, separation. And that's what Maharaj Yudhishthira is experiencing right now. When he's aware, getting aware that something's going on. And in his heart, he can tell. The acharyas, when they explain this to Shastakam, they say the three worlds are becoming void. He says, I see the entire world, but not just the entire world, but the entire universe is void because of separation from Shri Govinda. It's a sensation of, if you can imagine, being burning alive in a slow fire. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered in this Shikshastakam verse into his mood of Srimati Radharani with love and separation that he felt while he was in Puri. And these waves of agitation, lamentation, and intense humility, these are called sanchari bhavs. And these sanchari bhavs are the waves in the ocean of Mahabhav. And so they come up when he speaks this famous verse. So he's in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And so the highest love, I'm exploring Virahename, mood of separation from Govinda, or so I'm Bhagavan Krishna, that Maharaj Yudhishthira is also experiencing through the light of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions. That's what I'm exploring. So the highest love that we know of in this world is that of the Brajvasis, the gopis, and it's love and separation from Sri Krishna. And separation, that feeling of virahe, is one of the reasons why the love of the gopis is so great and glorious. Because we understand that love has two bodies. One is called meeting, and the other is called separation. So prema is the ingredient of separation. And so one must accept that there's great bliss and astonishment in separation as in union. And this is why viraha, separation, is called a rasa. And the Sat Goswamis, Shri Rup Goswami, and all of his associates in the Muda Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have stated that state of separation is even more astonishing than the state of meeting. So the components of this Rahena, or Vipralamba, as it's also called, involves union and separation. And it's called Purvarag and Pravas. And these are felt to be very favorable for execution of bhajan. And Purvarag is wonderfully described in 5 verses in this chapter here, where the gopis are glorifying the flute. The good fortune of the flute, which is drinking the nectar of Krishna's lips. So, my dear gopis, what auspicious activities must the flute have performed to enjoy the nectar of Shri Krishna's lips independently and leave only a taste for us gopis, for whom that nectar is actually meant. The forefathers of the flute, namely the bamboo trees, shed tears of pleasure just as persons who are advanced in knowledge take pleasure to see their descendants engaged in the service of the Lord. That describes all parents, devotee parents. His mother, the river on whose bank the bamboo was born, feels jubilation, and therefore her blooming lotus flowers are standing like hair on her body. So because they're getting ready for meeting Krishna. So this is called Purva Rag. It's coming together, union. So this, if you go on to verse 19, you can kind of see the gist of what the gopis are experiencing. From 9, 10, O friend, Vrindavan is spreading the glory of the earth, having obtained the treasure of lotus feet of Shri Krishna, son of Devaki. Blessed are the foolish deer because they have approached Maharaj Nanda's son, who is gorgeously dressed and is playing on his flute. Krishna's beauty and character create a festival for all women. When the Devata's wives flying in airplanes with their husbands catch sight of him and hears resonant flute song, their hearts are shaken. Using the upraised ears as vessels, the cows are drinking the nectar of the flute sound coming out of Krishna's mouth. The calves are standing still while drinking milk from their mother as they take Govinda within themselves through tear-filled eyes and embrace him with their hearts. Just poetically beautiful, beautiful. They describe the glories of Govardhan Hill because of the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram. So this is called Purvarag, union, and it's a component of of Ripalamba Virahina, the rasa of separation. The other component is called Pravas. And you can read a lot about Pravas in Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book, Shri Bhajan Rasya, where he talks about the sadhana in the late afternoon. And so a very famous verse, which I spoke about in a lecture about humility being the synonym of love, that I gave in fall, is this one that is sang by the preeminent Rasacharya in our tradition, who's Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri is describing the state of Radharani when she's talking to the bumblebee. She's saying, I Dina Daya Radra Nata, hey, Mathra Nath, Kada Avalokshya, Hridayam Twadaloka Kataram, Daite Brahmati Kim Karomi Ham. O my Lord, O most merciful Master, O Master of Mathura, when shall I see you again? Because of my not seeing you, my agitated heart has become unsteady. O most beloved one, what shall I do now? So this is Muda Pravas, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, separation. And this is such an important verse. Madhavendra Puri said this verse as he was leaving his earthly pastimes. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could only say, I Dina Dayadar, just crying in that mood of separation that Srimati Radharani felt. So, this this Purva, Rag, and Pravas are components of Virahina or Ripalamba Ras. And it's a mood of separation because there has to be, with separation, there has to be union and vice versa, and they intensify each other by the flow back and forth. So Shri Krishna Bhagavan says in the mood of union, because he left Vrindavan, but then in the full eclipse moon, he met the residents of Braj, Nanda Maharaj and the Brajvasis at Kurukshetra. And so Krishna Bhagavan explains this. He's saying this. He says, Mai bhaktir hi bhutanam amrita vaya kalpate tashtya yad ashin mat sneho bhavitana mad apanaha. Rendering devotional service to me qualifies any living being for eternal life. But by your good fortune, you have developed a special loving attitude towards me, by which you have obtained me. He's saying this prem bhakti you have for me is the supreme nectar in the ocean of Mahabhav. And the feelings of separation that you're having are sanchari bhavs. They're waves in this ocean. And under the control of that affection, I'm always engaged in your service. So this Virahina, Vipalamba is what Maharaj Yudhishthira is experiencing. We can only have a semblance of that feeling. But you can understand what that feeling is when you lose a dear one in your life, meaning the earthly presence. Because no matter how we rationalize it, it cannot relieve the personal experience of one's whole being, altering it, even collapsing as a result of such loss. Like Sri Arjun demonstrated in Bhagavad Gita, his intense grief gave him no choice but to allow the Gandhi to fall and for him to fall into the seat of his chariot. But we're instructed by the Shastras, Guru, and Sri Krishna that death for the bhakta means a heart that can no longer contain all the love that it has for the divine, Sri Krishna Bhagavan. So we understand that the dear one has left the mortal world, and our dear one has left the mortal world and now is able to encompass the tremendous, abundant love that they have achieved from bhakti. So that's how one can understand love in separation from dear devotees who have passed on. In Maharaj Yudhishthira's life, he had the great fortune to know Sri Krishna Bhagavan on a very intimate basis, like Arjun mentions himself in the Gita, in chapter 11. And in that interactions and that intimacy, he developed, many loving connections through Bhagavan's personal presence. And he experienced Bhagavan's life, so-called life, or Leela as we would call it, and his prema, or his devotee, in the very short time, or apparently short time, that the Maharaj Yudhishthira felt was just too short. So, in a way, Maharaj Yudhishthira's grief at the departure of Sri Krishna Bhagavan is almost like a testament to, as well as a cause for celebrating the profound presence of Bhagavan Sri Krishna in the Pandavas' lives. As we know, Sri Krishna's presence in their lives, the lives of his dear Pandavas who he loved so much, was essential, vital, and irreplaceable. As we were reading on our Sunday morning Saturday morning Bhagavatam discussion group, when we read about Ashwatthama pastime in Canto 1, Chapter 7, we read that when Kurukshetra ended, Shri Krishna Bhagwan, the battle had completed, and the Pandavas had come to the camp of the Kauravas to see the condition of situation. And Shri Krishna Bhagwan instructed Shri Arjun, when they were about to get off the chariot, that take your bow, Gandiva, when you leave this chariot. And then Arjun did so. And then Lord Krishna was the last one to come off that chariot. And as soon as Lord Krishna left that chariot exploded or collapsed, according to Mahabharata, immediately. Because the presence of Shri Krishna Bhagwan was preventing all the celestial weapons that were thrown at it by mighty warriors on the Kaurava's side. And so soon as Bhagwan left that chariot, it exploded. Imagine that. That's why Shri Krishna Bhagwan told Shri Arjun, take your Gandiv with you, because otherwise it would have been gone. So Shri Krishna's love was essential and vital and irreplaceable in the lives of the Pandavas. And even in his departure, he would remain in a very special place in their hearts because they loved him so much. And so Maharaj Yudhishthira and the Pandavas will understand later on in this chapter, as Shri Arjuna explains about the Gita and the conversation he had with Shri Krishna, that even though Swami Bhagavan Krishna's physical presence is no longer visible to their eyes, but their relationship, in fact, remains. Shri Yudhishthira Maharaja's love and affection for Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna's presence, and a deep appreciation for what Shri Krishna gave in Maharaj Yudhishthira's life. This is just a very special gift that the Pandavas and Maharaj Yudhishthira have experienced. So this chapter is a love poem explaining Maharaj Yudhishthira's feeling of separation, pravas, adinadara dayara, as Madhavendra Puri explains from the Mudha Srimati Radharani. It's an exposition on the love of a Premi Bhakta. The Pandavas had rag, where they had attachment and absorption to the object of their love, Shri Krishna. So it's explaining the ocean of love, prema bhakti, and the waves of separation that are occurring in that ocean. And it is just like the passing of Bhishma Dev and Krishna. Shri Rupa Goswami says in Nectar Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and it's in Padma Purana, that when Lord Krishna absorbed his spiritual mind on Bhishma Dev, lying on the bed of arrows, he ran to him with tears coming out of his eyes. Shri Krishna. So the passing of Bhishma Dev was on one level interaction between Yudhishthira Maharaj and Bhishma Dev on how to govern the state of Hastinapur and Bharat, and also to console Yudhishthira Maharaj of the inevitableness of Kurukshetra war and what happened as the will of Sri Krishna Bhagwan. But there's also an exchange of rasa between Sri Krishna and Sri Bhishma Pita. And these feelings, these omens that he's experiencing are just the external manifestations of deep feelings of separation he's feeling from Bhagwan. And that the rest of the Pandavas will also experience. There's so much to be said, but since I have to assist in cooking for Sunday feast, I was going to stop here so it gives us time to get to temple in time. But we have, 5 minutes or so prior to leave. I would welcome any of your insights and reflections on this pastime that Maharaj Yudhishthira is experiencing upon Sri Krishna's departure, and how you view it may be different, and that's fine. Our acharyas oftentimes view pastimes of the Lord with a different lens. That's the beauty of Shastra. It is Nandan Bodhi Vardhanam, ever expanding. So thank you very much, dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comments? There are not many here, so that's nice.
Thanks, Prabhu. I appreciate this weaving of rasa into these verses, especially this mood of separation. These verses you selected are nice. I was also thinking of the same thing of how much love Yudhishthira Maharaj has for Krishna, and it's an example of his ecstatic love. These concerns and that he's expressing. I was also contemplating or remembering the how this mood of separation is like, oftentimes you hear it's like suffering the mood of separation, but at the same time it's not a suffering that we experience in this world. It's still ecstatic. It's still an aspect of ecstasy that we may not be able to, that we can't fathom or understand until we actually experience these higher states of bhakti.
Yeah, yes, but I liked your statement that this Maharaj Yudhishthira's expressions of concern are indication of the love he holds for Shri Krishna. In regard to your comment of being able to really appreciate the vipralamba of Virahena, mood of love and separation, it is true that in this material body, we cannot truly experience something like this. As exemplified by Naraji, he had to leave his body in order to experience Prem Bhakti. That's why Lord Krishna said, in this form you will not see me again. But very interestingly, an analogy that acharyas have given, Balatai Prabhu, you may have heard of it, and you will like it, is that it's like drinking hot sugarcane juice, in that it's incredibly sweet, but it burns your mouth. That's what this mood of separation is like. You relish it, but you feel the pain of it simultaneously.
Yeah, I've heard this. It's a good example.
Right. That's an example that's stuck in my mind. I'm sure there are many examples, but I think everybody's had the experience of, you know, tasting something, and it's like sometimes, when devotees put a little bit extra chili into the food, you can taste the niceness of the food, but simultaneously your mouth is burning. So there's pleasure, but there's also intense pain simultaneously. So Sri Rupa Goswami wrote quite a bit about this, but that was an example. But you're right, it's hard to fathom the intensity of Mahabhav while in this party. Nice. Other comments that you have or other devotees?
Thank you, Prabhu, for a nice lecture on these verses, beautifully elaborating on the bhava, rasa, especially Viraha and Vipralamba, as you just mentioned, the mood of separation from Lord Krishna and the deep pain the Pandavas experienced after his death experience. Thank you, Prabhu. I mean, you presented good details in the background.
Thank you for the appreciation. Yeah, I think, in this world, so-called mortal world, we can feel it when a loved one leaves our associate, their presence is gone. We can feel that. We remember them, but yet we feel separation, but our appreciation of them and the love that we share with them expands. So, there's pain, but there's also happiness. Thank you. Okay, should we go ahead and end at this point then?
Sure, Prabhu.
Thank you. So, thank you, Bhanata Prabhu, Vedakdamad Prabhu, Krishna Marai Prabhu, and Vijay Lakshmi Mataji for joining. I think we had a nice, intimate discussion of, the Bhagavatam is rasa. It's meant to be, it is meant to be looked through the lens of rasa. And that's why Mahaprabhu appreciated it as the best of all philosophy. Because rasa literature. So it's nice. We shouldn't become, we should talk about it with some reverence so that we don't get overly familiar with, or I should not get overly familiar with incredibly advanced symptoms, natural symptoms of Krishna's Nitya Siddha associates. But to appreciate that quality in those Nitya Siddha associates brings appreciation into one's heart, and that's nice. Okay, so see you all, or see you whoever can, come to Sunday feast. Please come join. I think the weather's improved to the point where one can drive without risk of injury, but okay. Vancha kalpatargasya kriposindhavya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namah. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thanks, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Krishna Prabhu. Take care.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hari. Bye-bye.